Trends are running shorter. That means that those really fun things that you see on social media where you want to try to jump and get into to create something that is viral, yeah, that thing, that is going to run even shorter this year. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse, right? Because everybody is what? Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. And the attention is built off of this dopamine hit. It's actually even causing more stress, harm, depression, and even more. You're also seeing, because of that attention span and scrolling, that statistics are even showing that even less than a second. Can you believe that? At one point, it was you had a minute to get people's attention, or the first maybe 30 seconds. Now it's 1 second. And believe it or not, I've seen my teenager do this, where she'll just be scrolling and they don't even get 3 or 4 words out before whatever. And then even take a look at when it comes to, the promoting and the sales and all of that stuff. People are getting bombarded all over the place, right? You have the different algorithms and yada, yada, yada. That is all going to stress you out. You're probably already stressed out already, even hearing about it, right? So you're probably like, okay, well, then what am I supposed to do, Tanya? Well, let me help you out a little bit. My name is Tanya. I've been in business and ministry for a little over 20 years, helping companies all around the world scale from either 0 to 8 figures or 5 figures or more. Many of these companies are, yes, corporate companies, or they have multi-million-dollar organizations and they're looking to put affiliate aspects or, help with retention. But you might be one that has a dream, a vision, and you want to impact the nations. You want to really see how this operates or how your word can actually get out. Well, this is what I do. Okay. I'm affectionately known as the Activator. And so why you're actually exhausted, tired, and all those other things, and maybe even stressed out a little bit, is probably because you're suffering from that dopamine addiction just the same. But we'll talk about that later. So this comes from a Babylonian way of operating. So if you haven't been on my channel or exposed to me in any way, shape, or form, I teach all through biblical principles, okay? Scaling and growth through biblical principles. And so there's a kingdom way of doing it, a biblical way of doing it, and then there is a Babylonian way. And many times as a believer, we sit there and we want to find coaches and mentors. One, we put on Saul's armor. If you're not familiar with David and Goliath, Saul, gave David his armor. And here's the key that we don't talk about. He actually put it on. Now, once he put it on, he was like, yeah, this don't feel right. This ain't it. I'm not about this life, right? He realized he was already trained and equipped in the area that he was going into, but the way that God trained him. And so he took it off. But many times we don't recognize this. And so we're stuck in this Babylonian, this worldly way of operating. Now, Babylonian system is built off of a supply and demand. That means that we are focused on how individuals, what they want, how they operate, and all of this stuff. While that's all well and good, that doesn't give you, that's this up and down, right? Self-sabotage, because you're always on the next trend. You're always on the next, what's more popular, or what does this coach or mentor say I should do? And you're actually not being trained to think on your own and authentic. You're very codependent on what everybody else is doing. And so when you're stepping into a kingdom way, you are forerunning, you are pioneering, you are looking at witty inventions and ways. But here's the key, and I wrote some down because I didn't want to forget a couple of them. So number one, you're creative. You allow yourself to use all of your giftings and anointings to do it, not based off of what's the latest trend. No, but off of your own authenticity, off of how you were created to communicate and build. And so that is key one. Another one is Jesus was a storyteller. Have you ever realized that? Like, he was the best storyteller ever. And not everybody always got it, but those who had an ear to hear heard. And so focus on your communication and your storytelling and engaging and getting people in, and that transparency, right? Here's another thing, the organic approach. All you have to do is be willing to stay consistent, and you will build organically. Now, can you do paid ads and all of that good stuff? Yeah, absolutely. But if you don't know how to communicate and you don't know how to grow organically, then you're going to still have a problem. right? Even if you're doing ads, because you're going to be throwing money down the drain. Yeah, because see, niching down or niching down is not for you, your gifts and your anointings. It's for you to market, to advertise and say, okay, I'm going to market to this one demographic. That's what that's for. It's not for you to sit here and build and then years later say, I am so not happy because I put so much forth this effort into this one area, but I feel like all of this is missing. Really quick example. I'm able to create, design, sing, strategy, communication, all of these aspects. And I always would leave one thing out and I would try to rebuild. I would self-sabotage every time because I'm like, wait, I have to niche myself down. And no, when I gave all of me in every aspect, it made me completely authentic and unique. And individuals were like, I want to be able to do that same thing. It actually helped me increase my reach and what I did. All right. The other thing is in the kingdom way, we lead by value, not by supply and demand. See, the supply and demand will always bring you into this hamster wheel all the time. And so you'll constantly build and tear down, right? With your own hands. And so it's exhausting because you're ran by what the industry wants, as opposed to prophetically moving and pioneering and saying, okay, what is happening right now? This is a lot of issues with believers. They don't bring that anointing, that relationship with God, love as the foundation, that prophetic aspect, wise and sound counsel that's able to straddle both spheres of influence, both ministry and business, and build. And so with that being said, you tend to build worldly in your business and then you live a godly life. I don't know how that even works, but I see it all the time. So here's the thing. Value-based means that you're giving and you're not manipulating. You're giving, you're being very open and transparent with how you operate, what you do, and what you're going to deliver. Even the cost of your products and so on and so forth. You're not having somebody with a thought process, I gotta sell, I gotta sell, I gotta sell. No, you lead with absolute value, meaning in my mind, whenever I jump on here and even making these videos for you, I'm thinking, how clear and concise can I be? And what can I have you implement like right now? So you can watch, even if it's just one video, you can leave with something to implement, some action to take. That's what I want for you to be able to do. So there's no manipulation. I know that I'm stepping in and I'm walking in the anointing that I'm called to walk in, right? And I'm sharing that with you. I'm not sitting here saying, hey, I'm not going to share this part with you because, yeah, I need you to go ahead and buy my program or buy my book or whatever event in order for me to expose and open this section to you. Nah. When I press play, when I'm speaking, when I'm a podcast, anything, I don't think about that because those are reservations and they hinder me in my thought process. I just go and I give the absolute value. I lay it all out on the table. You're going to get all of me and anything that comes up in my brain to just add value to you. That's just how I operate. And it's never failed, right? Because that is kingdom based. That's godly. It's leading with value, not supply and demand. And then one other thing, hopefully you've been taking notes. I will leave you with this. Watch who's in your ear. If you are a believer, be careful how much you're ingesting from YouTube, podcast, whatever it may be, and who is giving you counsel. The key here is making sure that you, as a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever it is that you do, are not sitting here on media as a consumer. Okay? You're not a consumer. Now, you might be looking for a mentor. Cool. Go research them out. I get that. You might even be taking a look at strategies and how things operate and paying attention. But see, that's a different mindset. You're not being a consumer. You're not trying to eat all of this and then stressed out because you don't know which way to go. You have to quiet down a bit, move slower and quiet down. Make sure that you have things strategically laid out. When are you responding to your social media? What does that look like? How are you engaging? When are you networking? And then make sure that throughout your time, you have a cutoff period. Don't be in a scarcity mindset where you're like, oh my gosh, I have to work 14, 15 hours a day in order to make the money. No. I've noticed that the less hours I work, And I spend more time in that place of whether prayer or journaling, writing things down, working out, staying healthy, that type of thing. I've noticed I could be cooking something and, oh my gosh, I got an answer to the strategy that, or to the question that I was like, okay, what do I do? And that came not from me being behind the desk or doing anything, but my faith is getting out in nature. That is where it all came, where I was able to, how do I put it, get the answers. Okay. So hopefully this has blessed you guys. Just so you know, again, that Babylonian system is a supply and demand. The kingdom way of operating, the biblical way, is off of a value-based system and pioneering. You can do that by working on your communication, being a storyteller, stepping into your most authentic, creative, amazing self and how God created you. Stay consistent. Don't follow all these crazy trends and everything else. You can have fun and do a dance if you want to, but I'm just saying, don't rely as a foundation of your company and what you do and your strategy to be following the next trend. Now, if you're a social media strategist or anything, yeah, you might want to take a look at some of those things. I totally get it because you have clients and you want to guide them the right way. But teaching them to be consistent, value-based, and excellent-based, okay? Making sure that what you put out is excellent. You're always looking at how do you increase it and make it better to deliver a better product. Stay organic, right? Before you start going to paid ads and trying to go crazy, figure out what's working and who you're representing, how you're operating, and stepping into your most authentic self. Be careful who's in your ear. I like to watch the most, like maybe 3 individuals in that sense. Slow down, make time, and be value based. All right. Well, God bless. Make sure if you're not subscribed, you are subscribed so you don't miss anything. And of course, if you want to work with me, you can always, I make it so simple. Tanya Tanika, everywhere, y'all. TanyaTanika.com. Anywhere on social media, you can find me at Tanya Tanika. I'm not making it complicated for y'all. But yeah. All right. Peace.